Mr. Kinney?
So I have a few. I have one question for the applicant. Do you have a user?
Still open for me to speak, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't. We need to go to market. In order to go to market, we need our zoning approval. The users, occupiers, as we call them, have many sites being thrown at them. They won't engage unless we have zoning approval.
Okay, thank you. So that brings me to my first point, revenue. So there's no user. So all these $17 million projections, that's all they are. They're projections. There's no money there. These aren't the droids you're looking for. It's not there. So the 17 million is projected, and that's if all three buildings are built out. They get a user that wants all three. All three buildings are packed to capacity with servers. All these figures are based on that. Well, you know what comes after if, but. But what if they get a smaller user and there's only one building and he only uses half the server capacity of that current building? Well, then your revenue goes from 13 million down to about 2 or 3. They also made a statement that they would fully pay for all the traffic studies, but that's an incorrect statement. Currently, unless the proffer's been changed, the cap is $2 million. So if the traffic improvements go beyond that figure, Powhatan County's on the hook. So currently, and we're not going to see, even if all the stars aligned, they got a user, they built all the buildings out, everything was good, we're not going to see a dime, minimum 5 to 7 years. In conversations with Dominion Energy, if you order a transformer today, it's 3 to 5 years before that transformer is delivered. So you can't even build out the substation for the data center in 3 to 5 years, even if they were to find a user tomorrow. My other concern is with the applicant himself. These folks have been, in my opinion, very difficult to work with. My personal meetings have been contentious. They say they've done numerous data centers. I can't find any evidence of that. If that's true, would you be willing to provide references so we can check? I don't know about anybody else, but I don't hire a contractor or put somebody on a project I'm managing unless I check their references first. So I would like to see references of data centers that you have done in the past, because according to your statements, you've done quite a few of them. But I can't find any evidence of that. The other thing is the JLARC study. Regarding data centers, it's due out in December, probably knowing the government, it'll be January. And people say, well, all indications are that, it's going to be mostly focused on Northern Virginia, Loudoun County, not going to really have a big impact on localities. Well, forgive me for not trusting the word of state and federal legislatures. I would rather see the reporting writing myself. That way you know for sure. So if something comes out in January and they put restrictions on the incentives counties can offer, and we already rezoned the property, well, guess what? It's not going to be as attractive to users as it was before. So then we're stuck with a rezoned property. They wait their 18 months, and then the 45 uses kick in, and they can put whatever they want by right based on those uses. Again, what's the hurry? I could understand it if you had a user in the background, had a timeline like, hey, we'd really like to get this going. I could understand that. There's no user, so I don't see any hurry. And again, somebody brought up a great point. If you're serious about a data center, 3 proffers: data center, office, and advanced manufacturing. The Henrico Board of Supervisors back in May voted unanimously to rezone 622 acres. Didn't have a user, 3 proffers, those 3. So bottom line, folks, when you rezone something, You want to determine what the best use is for the property. Well, we don't know that right now because we don't have a user. We don't know if it's going to be data center. It's an unknown factor. And most importantly, I'm going back to something my dad told me a while back. He said, Mark, when you give your word, keep it or you don't have anything to give at all. I sat in a town hall meeting and I gave my word to the citizens of this county that I would not vote to approve this unless there were only 3 proffers: data center, office, and advanced manufacturing. For 18 months, there's data center. But after that, all bets are off. In respect to Mr. Ellis, I understand, you want to have a plan B. I appreciate that. But in my book, from my perspective, as soon as you enter into a real estate contract with somebody, you cede those rights. I've never sold any property in my life and been able to retain an interest in it. And if somebody in here has, we need to talk after. So I just cannot, at the least, I would like to defer this until after the JLARC study's done, until the applicant can provide me with some references of other data centers they built. Otherwise, I just can't vote to approve this project at this time. Thank you for your time.